Today we're going to talk about transitions. What's a transition, I hear you asking? Well, so a transition is when we are talking about a word or a phrase that we're using to connect two different thoughts or two different ideas. These could be the thoughts and ideas in two different sentences, or it could be the thoughts and ideas in two different paragraphs. The transition is our way of helping a piece of writing flow better. The transition will take a piece of writing that's just kind of choppy and scattered and all over the place and unify it. So that means it shows how everything is connected. Think of transitions that like the glue between ideas that make all the ideas stick together so that they form your main idea. One advantage of transitions are that they stop your reader from becoming lost and they give them a clearer idea of what you were talking about. We can use transitions to clarify the relationships between two ideas, to create cohesion. So again, that basically means to glue our paragraphs together, glue our ideas together so that they fit as one topic. They can link major sections of the text so they can show us how our body paragraphs fit together. They can convey sequence so they can show us the order something goes in. They can signal a shift in a time or a setting so they can show us that we're moving forward or backwards in time. They can show us the relationships, or they can even help us with tone. Here are some examples of different transition words in English. Some of the jobs that transition words can do is they can provide emphasis, which means they show us that something is super important. Saying, obviously, I believe that we should be allowed to eat snacks. Or, without a doubt, we should be allowed to have snacks in the classroom. Or, importantly, research shows that students do better when we have snacks in the classroom. Those are all emphasis words. Addition is when I'm adding more information about idea. So, moreover, if I had a snack, I know that I would do better on my test because I wouldn't be hungry. Or, in addition, if we had snacks, teachers wouldn't have to be worried about us being distracted when it's almost lunchtime. Contrast is when we show the opposite of an idea. So, on the other hand, if we don't get to eat snacks in class, we will be distracted by our growling stomachs. Conversely, if we don't get to eat snacks in class, then we won't be able to focus because our brains are starved. Order words put something in order. Finally, I have to point out that it hasn't always been a rule that we couldn't eat in class, right? So let's look. In each sentence, does the idea show link to similar ideas? Present an example? Show a contrasting idea? Or show us cause and effect? What we need to look at before we read the sentence is we need to notice that if we get rid of the underlined transitional phrase, the sentence still makes sense. The reason that the author begins with a transitional phrase is for variety and to show how the details link together. So, despite this would be a contrasting transition. If I say, this is true despite this, then I'm saying that it's the opposite or it contrasts whatever I just said. On account of this, the river is now polluted. They dumped chemicals in the river. On account of this, the river is now polluted. That's going to show us cause and effect. You should give your mom something for Mother's Day. For instance, you could bake a cake to show your appreciation. That's giving a specific example. German Shepherds are great workers. Not only that, but German Shepherds are good watchdogs, so we're linking similar ideas, we're giving more information. On the other hand, dogs can often be pesty. On the other hand, we have this option, but on the other hand, we have this option. So dogs are adorable, but on the other hand, dogs can often be pesty. On the other hand is comparing and contrasting. Consequently, the carpet is worn thin. She paces whenever she gets stressed. Consequently, the carpet is worn thin. So that's a cause and effect. For example, cats love to play with a big ball of yarn. Cats are more playful than most people realize. For example, cats love to play with a ball of yarn. That's giving an example. Regardless, people still come to the lake to swim. When I was little, there was a rumor that there were alligators in Lake Worth. Regardless, people still come to the lake to swim. That shows that we have two different or contrasting ideas. Besides that, these creatures are endangered species. Everybody should help protect pandas because they are the most adorable animal on Earth. Besides that, these creatures are an endangered species. We're linking more information. So let's see. Can you find the two transitional phrases? They're going to start a sentence, and they're going to help us figure out how that sentence is connected to the sentence before it. The wetland habitat is a perfect place for animals to raise their young. Fish lay eggs in the shallow water where they were protected from bigger fish. In the same way, the tall grasses of the marsh provide protection for shorebirds building their nest. Still water is a mix of salt and fresh, which encourages the growth of algae, perfect food for small fish and water creatures. In addition to this, the marsh is full of insects, plants, and small animals that are an excellent source of food for the many creatures who live there. Did you catch the transitions? In the same way is a transition that lets us know we're adding information. And in addition to this is a transition that lets us know we're adding information. Let's try again. There are two transitional phrases in this paragraph. The library is the ideal place to find information of all kinds. For instance, imagine that you are doing a report on snakes. You can find many fine books on that topic in the library. Another time, you might want to put together a bibliography of magazine articles about your favorite movie star. You could use one of the library's many computers to visit a website or search the internet for the hard-to-find information you're looking for. Besides that, there's the reference section, chock full of encyclopedias, almanacs, dictionaries, and atlases, loaded with facts and figures on every conceivable topic. For instance is a transition word. Besides that is a transition word. Okay. You ready to do it alone? Log into Canvas and identify the transitional phrases in Canvas by going to OneNote and using your annotation tool.